It Follows has been a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. I'm not typically a huge fan of horror films, but when a movie gets this kind of attention that this movie did, it makes me want to see it and see what all the fuss is about. And recently, Second Sight Films released a gorgeous 4K set. The 4K is upsampled from the original digital footage shot, but it comes with a really like nice looking book and art cards and basically gave it the special edition treatment. And like I said, I was interested in the film, so I was like, before I buy this thing, I ought to watch it first. I'm glad I did, but maybe not for the reasons you might think. Written and directed by David Robert Mitchell, It Follows tells the story of a young woman who is followed by an unknown supernatural force after a sexual encounter. The movie stars Maika Monroe, Keir Gilchrist, Lili Sepe, and Olivia Luccardi. Now, this movie's 9 years old, so I mean, most people who probably want to see this movie have already seen it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to stay away from the big spoilers until the very end. I will talk about some of those, but yeah, basically, this story is, if you have sex with someone who is cursed with this thing, it follows you around until it catches you and kills you. And one character says that it is slow but not stupid. So basically, that's what we're dealing with this entire story. Now let's talk about the things that I liked first, because I kind of feel like it might not take very long. Visually, I think this movie looks great. I think the composition of the shots just it looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautifully shot film. The way that the camera lingers in certain scenes is very very well done. Like I really enjoyed it, and I'll even say that I think Detroit itself is rather beautiful. The way that the everything is composed, the way that everything's shot. I mean, you've got these, sort of typical suburban kind of neighborhoods, kind of spliced and contrasted with these destitute, derelict places. It's rather haunting, and I think that serves the story well. The score is by someone named Disaster Piece, and he said that he was very, I guess, inspired by John Carpenter films, and you can hear it. And I really enjoyed it. It almost put it in a late '70s, early '80s kind of feel. The score I think did a really good job of doing that. There's actually a couple of songs where I was like, I kind of want that song. Like I kind of want to look that up and listen to that again. It was some pretty good stuff. Talking about composition again, one of the things that I really like is that this thing is basically following you all the time. And so there are a lot of shots where the slow pace almost makes you look around in the frame to see what else is going on. And there are always like people in the background that you're kind of like, is that wait, is that the thing? Is that it? And that unfortunately is probably it for me. There's not a whole lot to this movie. It's I can see why people like it. I can, but it's not my kind of movie because it ultimately kind of feels like, okay, that happened, and I don't know. And there's probably going to be plenty of people that disagree with me on that, but I just don't feel I didn't feel any sort of conclusion to it. It felt like it had a beginning and a middle, but not really an end. The acting, I feel, was very stilted in some cases. And one of the things that I appreciate about independent features is that you're seeing actors that you don't know. So you don't really know in a lot of cases, sometimes you don't know who the star is because you just don't know who's gonna make it and who's not. I appreciate that. But I feel like this is more of a direction problem than an acting problem. I don't I didn't believe some of the characters when they were saying what they were saying. Some of them did fine, but then some of them were kind of like, just say the line here, and it's kind of frustrating. Another one of those things where I don't understand the point of it is the time frame of the movie is very, very hard to pin down. Like, when is this supposed to be taking place? Not that that's like super important to the story or anything, but it seems like it was deliberately done to sort of bring attention to it, but without any reason. Like, for example, they're talking on cell phones. This one character has a what looks like a compact, like a shell compact. You know what I mean? To for makeup, but instead it's like a some sort of ebook reader or something. And then you've got cell phones, and then everybody's watching old CRT televisions. I'm just not understanding what the point of all that was. Like, I don't get it. Another thing that's kind of frustrating in movies like this, and this goes to all the way back to some of the older horror movies that this was apparently inspired by. Where are the parents? What's what's going on? Does no one care about these kids? Like, I feel like they're going to school at one point, and then they're just off on their own doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They disappear for apparently days on end. No one cares. I just it feels very strange because they're so isolated. But really the biggest problem is to me is that I feel like the movie doesn't really, it just ends. It doesn't really have that much of a conclusion. I don't even understand some of the, I guess the point of it. I don't know. And look, I'm just telling you what I feel, and this is one of those things where I almost didn't review this movie at all because I was like, people are gonna hate me for this. But look, the thing is, this is what I got from it, and I don't get it. And a lot of movies like this I've never really cared for because of that whole lack of resolution. I don't like that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, look, if this is one of your favorite movies, I'm sorry. But it's how I feel about it. So here's where I get into some spoilery stuff, or stuff about like the meaning behind the movie or something like that. So if you haven't seen the movie and you wish to see the movie, it is free to watch on Paramount Plus. I say free if you have Paramount Plus. But yeah, it's you can stream it there if you want to. It's available pretty inexpensively to rent on many digital platforms. So check it out if you want to. But otherwise, let's just get on with the spoilers. There's a scene that I don't really understand why it's there, and it's almost built up like a sequence, and then there's no resolution or nothing, like nothing. I don't understand the point of it. So there's a scene where our main character is on a beach, and she's distraught, as you might be, seeing all the things that she's seen and experiencing what she's experiencing. She looks out on a boat and sees three guys on a boat, and she starts taking off her clothes like she's gonna wade out there and possibly transmit this curse to them, right? By having sex with them. But it doesn't happen, and nothing is shown, and then nothing is ever referenced again. And the thing is still after her. So I guess the whole thing is she chickened out. Like, I don't understand what the point of that scene was if there wasn't any reason. Oh, I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe just the scene. But then having her wade out into the water and then it cuts to a different scene. I'm kind of confused with that whole thing. There's a lot of, apparently people think that she did have sex with them, in which case they would be chased. Then I just don't understand the whole point of it. It felt like an intentional misdirect, and I'm not a fan of that. Now, the rules of this thing, right? I mean, the movie starts, you see a distraught girl, and she's kind of, you see her sort of running from nothing, sort of thing, and oh, I'm fine, as she's standing in the middle of the road, sort of thing, right? Anyway, she ends up dead. So how did the thing choose its next victim? We don't know. We don't know. If it's chasing her and it catches her, then what's its next move? I don't I don't understand that, because I kind of felt like the whole idea was the curse is like broken when you die, but it's not, apparently, because the movie happens, after we've seen this body on the beach. So I'm really kind of confused about all of that. Maybe someone can let me know about that, because I just don't get it. And the final thing is that the final shot is the two, basically the two main characters, I guess, are holding hands walking down a sidewalk while someone is definitely following them from behind. They never look back. They never do anything. They just keep walking. And then the movie ends, and I literally threw my hands up like what? I I don't understand. And if it's trying to say something, if the movie is trying to say something about sex, or if it's meant to be something about, a lot of people say it's about STDs. Some people say no, it's not about STDs. That's the that's the layman's way of looking at it. I don't know what this movie's about, and I don't know what I'm supposed to feel at the end of it. Other than frustration, I guess. So that's my review of It Follows. Again, I almost didn't review it because I didn't want to, basically tear down a movie that other people like. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people that really enjoy this movie. I just I didn't really get much out of it, other than, oh, that was a very nicely composed shot. Oh, I like this music here. I mean, that's pretty much what I got from it. But yeah, I would like to continue the conversation. I would like to know and hear from people that do like this movie, and kind of not to try to convince me or anything like that, but let's have a discussion about it. Maybe down in the comment section, because that's fun. I like doing that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.